Hello, Bethel Park. My name is Amy Taylor, and I'm here with a very special edition of Healthy, Fit, and Strong. We have with us today a very special guest, Mr. Leo Paquette. Mr. Leo, welcome.
Thank you. I'm glad to be here. It's a pleasure.
Wonderful to have you here. Now, Mr. Leo Paquette is an inventor, and he has brought with us today many different inventions, and he also wants to get across a mission statement of giving, of being one with the United States. We have so much to talk about. Let's delve right in.
Wonderful. Well, thank you.
Yes. Tell us a little bit about yourself, Leo.
Well, I'm originally from Alberta, Canada, and I became a citizen here about 20 years ago. I married my wife, and I have two lovely daughters, and I've been living in Mount Lebanon. It's been a good life for me. I am a landlord. I fix properties. I love doing that. Everything's like a puzzle to me. So I like to put things together, and I like to make it unique and make it my own. And that's probably what intrigued me. About 30 years ago, I went to see my dentist, and he told me I needed to floss more. And I always thought that, taking care of your teeth was something that came natural. But when he told me I needed to floss, I was troubled to try to get my fingers and floss my teeth. So I thought about an idea, and like everybody else, it goes to the store and sees there's anything out there that they can help you floss, and there was nothing at the time. So I came up with this idea, and it's basically pretty simple. It's just a toothbrush that I went to the schools of dentistry, and they told me this is a good toothbrush because it has 4 rows by 12 rows, and it's rounded, and it's smaller than your little finger, as you see.
Interesting.
And so this was the School of Dentistry, the deans, at giving me this knowledge. And then I had this idea, but when I went to Korea, the Koreans came up with the concept of using like a ratchet system, and then to advance the floss. And then when you realize that you can do it all in one hand. And it was very clever that my idea intrigued other people to put their ideas in mine, and then we came up with an idea that would promote people that could floss, and especially people that lost, the ability to use, 2 hands. And this is
interesting.
So
yeah.
this brought, because everybody has a handicap when it comes to flossing. So then the other thing that I learned, when studying, this flossing is something very important, because our gums are like a seal. And the idea is that we want to clean that tooth without damaging that seal. So when we make a position, we have to hug the tooth and floss the root of the tooth. And as we see, if you just shove it in there between, you're damaging the seal.
Yes, yes.
And many dentists will tell you, if you don't do this properly, you better not do it at all, because you're damaging more than you're doing good. So flossing properly is definitely a must to know. If you want to really do a good job, you got to make the shape of the tooth and floss the root of the tooth. And then, as you see, also the bristles are designed so you can get in there. And the idea is you should adapt a pattern, and this way you never neglect any areas. So it's important that the proper dental hygiene is, to do this constantly every day properly, and get away from the mirror. If the mirror is a problem, then walk around, and you could do this without, being in a hurry all the time. And putting your head over the sink and going and making your toothbrush all full of toothpaste and messy, that was never proven to be good. Keep your head up, adapt a pattern, and then this way you'll get better results. I mean, they say to people that have lived in their 80s and said if they can do it over again in life, the one thing they would do better, and they say take better care of their teeth. So this is a very good way to start your life, and good dental hygiene, and you will live a better life if you have your original teeth, because the primary loss of teeth is because of one thing: neglect. So,
yeah.
So this is a key, I think, in most people, to have a good smile, to be healthy, and if you're healthy, other things in life become more natural.
And I see they come in a variety of colors, depending upon your personality. So let's talk a little bit about, where was the School of Dental Health that you went to talk to them about?
Well, this was all done in Alberta, Canada. So it was the University of Alberta and other people in that field that participated and with their opinion on what they have taught was the best.
Right.
And then as today, I still believe that what they told me is still the best.
Yes. And then you said that this ratchet system was developed in Korea?
It was
Talk
in
to me
Korea
about that.
because I went with the embassy of the Canadian embassy, and I had made arrangements to actually went to Japan, I went to Korea
For this?
and the embassy made arrangements to meet engineers in these countries that were making toothbrushes, and I met quite a few companies in these countries, and this one company, Mr. Park. He showed the most interest, and he was intrigued about being part of this toothbrush, and so we made 500,000 of these, and we brought it into the United States and Canada, and it was unfortunate I spent a lot of my money making the product and not enough into marketing it, and but because
Are you guys partners?
no,
He just worked with you.
He just worked with me, and we created this toothbrush. Like I say, I was 25 years old, so this is a long time ago.
Yeah.
And maybe I could add to the story. I have something I need to
Yes, yes.
show you
Now, do you
about.
have a patent for this?
I had the patent, but the patent I ran out. But what I do have,
Are you renewing it?
I have a new name for it. It's called the giraffe floss brush.
Oh, look at that, because it looks like a little giraffe.
And so now I have protected the name, the giraffe floss brush.
You know, you had mentioned to me earlier, pre-interview, that your daughters and your wife are vegans. Did they help with the giraffe name?
Well,
giraffes eat plant products?
They probably would endorse it very high
See?
because a giraffe is known for its reachability. It's a very friendly animal, and so
I
this
love it.
this would probably catch on more, and it would.
Then we need to go with this colored giraffe. I love it.
Yeah, well, it's like anything else. When we play with things and we find better ways.
Yes,
and,
yes.
And it's like anything else in life. And the more we experiment, the more we look at things, and when we play with things, we find there's more ways we can do this, maybe by saving energy and time. And,
Yes, and I really, really appreciate the message that you're getting across, that people with disabilities can also utilize this. It's a one-handed, instrument that,
Absolutely.
Healthy, Fit, and Strong loves to promote wellness, health for all. So that's a really important message. Thank you for getting that across.
All right. Well, thank you. I feel like I've done something good in this world.
You've contributed to society like none other. I love it. And do you have something else to show us today?
Well, I'm a golfer also, and so I always was always intrigued to know that how to read a putt, and I have a video that I have out there.
Reading a putting green is in its simplest form, taking some time before deciding where you will aim and how you will putt, to determine the slope or slopes of the green between your ball and the hole. The ability to read a putting green well is one of the things that separates great putters from average putters. The level golf clip is an aid used to visually determine whether a putting surface or fairway is level. The level golf clip allows the user to balance the golf club on an outstretched finger to visually determine the slope of the playing area. The golfer can then determine whether the playing surface slopes from the right to left or left to right. To attach the level golf clip, you must find the true center balance point of the golf club upon which the level golf clip will be attached. To find the perfect balance point, place another golf club on a known flat level surface, such as a table, and with a portion of the club extending beyond the edge of the flat surface, carefully place the club which the level golf clip will be attached on top of the extended shaft and move the club until it rests by itself in a level manner. The location of intersection between the two clubs is the true center balance point of the club. Place a mark on both sides of the shaft of the golf club where the true center balance point is indicated. The level golf clip is placed between the marks and another dot on the shaft is placed through the hole in the clip. This marking will allow you to repeatedly attach and detach the clip to the golf club shaft at the exact same location for every use. You may attach and remove the level golf clip as many times as needed. You may also permanently glue the level golf clip in the proper location to the shaft. With the level golf club in the optimum location, balance on an outstretched finger directed towards the hole, using the target hole as one point of reference, and another visual point of reference to the right or left of the hole, provides the target area for a putting surface slope analysis. The second point of reference may be, but not limited to, the base of a flag pin as held by another player, or a driving tee temporarily placed in the green to the right or left of the hole. If the second reference point is above the hole, visual slope analysis indicates that a putt will break toward the hole. If the second reference point is below the hole, visual slope analysis indicates the putt will break away from the hole. And again, remember, the ability to read a putting green well is one of those things that separates great putters from average putters.
And basically, it's just a clip that would go on your putter, and you would just find where your putter balances. And once you know it balances there, now it's perfectly balanced. Now you can see if your caddy's feet are lower or higher than the hole, and you can make the putt much more easier because you know how it's going to break. So this is a small little thing, and actually I made this. I had a tenant that was a tenant of mine, and he had a 3D printer, and I had the idea, and I said to him, I says, could you make me a clip to fit on my putter? And the next day he says, here, I have one for you. And to think that a 3D printer could take one of your ideas and make it a product. And
Now you were 25 when you came up with this. How old were you came up with the,
Well,
it's called the level, read the green, the level?
Yeah, this was just done in the last couple of years here. And since the pandemic, I've been applying for a patent, and the patent office has not been responding. So I'm kind of like waiting for them to grant me a patent, because we researched it and nobody has ever used this on a putter before. So it'd be nice to get a piece of paper that says this is
Right,
unique.
exactly.
And a patent is three things. It's got to be new, useful, and unique. And I believe I met that criteria. So hopefully that I'll be
I've watched
granted.
the video. It's very informative. little you in the video. May I ask, how did you come up with this idea?
Well,
like-
I'm a golfer, so.
So like you always said, you know what, if I had something that could show me the horizon, that could show me the flag versus the
Yeah, well,
green.
I watch these other people. They use a putter and then they use it like a plumb bob, and they do it like this.
Yes, I've seen Tiger Woods do that.
And I say, how do you read it that way? I don't see it, but they do it, and God bless them, because they win a lot of money and they do a good job in understanding how. But I guess for me, I figured maybe it'd be more simple if I could just put it sideways, and now I know this is balanced, and I could see
So genius.
if my caddy's feet are lower or higher, or the flag stick. If your caddy's holding the flag stick,
Yes.
you could see if both of his arms are the same length, that the flag stick would be leaning this way or this way, which according to what I read and I researched, this is all within the rules of golf. So there's no reason why anybody could just use this and enjoy the game even more.
So you mentioned that you've seen people win lots of money like this.
Yeah.
And then they can win even more money like this. Maybe they'll give you a piece of the pie.
Absolutely.
Look at that.
Yeah. Once you.
So someone who's
Once
never
you're-
played
yeah.
golf other than miniature, a day in my life, I also can shoot. What's a good game? 12?
Well, if you.
What's a good game?
If you're a scratch golfer, you're an outstanding player.
Well, I want to be a scratch golfer, so I'll use this.
Yeah. Well, you could.
Could I use this for mini golf?
Yes.
All right.
No reason
I'm
why
going to
not.
get me one of those next time, a family outing, and I'll have the high score. Or do I want the low score? The low score, I love it.
Anything's possible. You just got to put the effort to make it work.
Right.
It's like anything else. If we have a tool in life, we need to learn how to use the tool.
Mm-hmm.
And that's another thing that when we talk about when you buy something at the store and you take it home and you assemble it and it doesn't work, and then you say to yourself, where did I go wrong? So you call the company and you say, I bought one of your products and I assembled it and it doesn't work. Then they tell me, did you read the manual? Oh, forgot to read the manual. So,
That's the American way.
so, so this takes me to the Constitution of the United States.
Yes.
And this is where I think I was intrigued the most becoming a citizen of this country, that no one has really read the Constitution.
And I know you take a lot of pride in this.
And because the Constitution protects all of us, we the people. And the people are the highest power of the land. And it's up to the people to choose a representative, period. Nowhere in the Constitution it says for us to choose a politician. So when we realize that when we elect a politician's definition in many dictionaries is personal gain or gain for a party, which is totally against the Constitution of the United States. The Constitution was written there for we the people. And today, I just seen on the news on Good Morning America, where Mr. President Bush said, when you become a citizen in this country, you're not supposed to be a spectator. You're supposed to be a person that
An active
participates
supporter, yes.
in we the people. So I was intrigued to under Jeffersonian democracy, because Jefferson had wrote in one of his writings that the president and the cabinet should be paid, but the Congress should not be paid. And when you realize it, that would make a lot of sense back then, because they were never paid at the beginning. Congress was never paid. And the idea was, the concept is that it would be up to the people of all the districts to choose a person, he or she, that lived in their district for many years and have earned a trust. And this is the person we ask to be a representative. And that person does not run for office. This person is chosen. So today, it's even better for us to choose a representative, because when we know someone that lived in our community, let's ask that person
Yes.
that is qualified. And this person is already successful. It doesn't need any money and is sitting at home doing nothing, and where they could be using their knowledge to help us, we the people, have better schools, better healthcare systems, better everything, because there's no reason why we shouldn't, because we the people are the highest power of the land. So all we need to do is use social media and say, look, here's a person we can all trust. Let's elect this person. And I do this in my story, in my book.
Let's talk about your book.
Which I was intrigued to do when I became a citizen.
2052, chosen by the USA, we the people. What does 2052 mean?
So in the year 2052, the gentleman named Jean Guy is a Frenchman. His father was born in Canada, and he came to the United States. He got married, and then he was killed at the Pentagon 9/11, and his son was born after. And in the story, his son keeps in touch with all his acquaintances all his life. So he has this big database of all the friends he ever met. And so he convinces all these people after he read the Constitution, and he says, look, let's elect a representative. And this is how we do it. We go to the ball fields, we go to the backyard, we use social media, and we say, look, let's elect this person as a representative. That person does not run for office. This person is chosen. And when you're chosen, it's an honor and a privilege to serve your country and your district. And you don't do it for money. You do it because you love your country.
Because you want to.
And you earn the trust from the people. And back in the day when this happened, the people that were chosen, the people would milk the farmers' cows, they would cut the people's grass, they would do whatever they needed to do to help that person while he was or she was making laws for the land. So we can all live in peace. And I believe this is what the concept of the Constitution is. And I think we miss a lot of understanding that we don't teach this properly in school, from kindergarten to adult. The Constitution should be taught every day if we can, and every week if we can, and every month and every year until you become an adult.
And that's interesting that you say that, because you spoke to me earlier about there's certain points that you think that our school system is lacking.
Yes, and I think in the school, when I made a presentation to Pittsburgh Public School, I mentioned to them, I said, this is the solution for education. Here's my name, and I put it on, and now every student that walks into the school, if I can get it on here, that would have to have this name tag. And not the one like I have, but let's see. But anyways, now you're a student, you have a name tag, and we invite 3 visitors from the community, and they agree to observe the classes, and they do it with a clipboard, and they sign an agreement with the principal that they're there only to observe. They can't speak or touch the children. And these people that are from the community, they care about the education system. They want there to make it good. So they're going to sit down and observe. And it'd be good if they're strangers too. They're strangers to the kids, they're strangers to the teacher. And they just sit there with the clipboard and observe the class. And if there's children that are disturbing the class, the name is right there. And someone writing, I mean, come on. You're going to have a better classroom. But you got to start this young, and then we need to continue this. And in classes that are failing, absolutely, this should be the solution to helping these teachers do their job. And I think we would see a better results.
And you went to the Pittsburgh public school system with this idea.
Absolutely.
And what did they say?
And they haven't said anything to me because I don't know, because I'm not on the board, but they asked me. They've called me and they asked me if I had solutions for education. And then the other thing I said, you're failing in these categories. And the categories you're failing in is the word addiction. You're not teaching that word. That word is one of the biggest problems we have in this country, in this world. When you're addicted to something, it could be drugs, alcohol, gambling, it could be sugar, salt, video games, all these things that are addictive. People end up losing their job, they lose their family, they lose their friends. So what do? You rob and steal because you got to survive. So we fail because people shouldn't have to be, doing these crimes to survive. And it's just a matter of us fixing it right from the beginning. We also fail in vocabulary, how to speak properly and write properly. Because if you say something bad and write something bad, you offend people. Now you create wars. So this is not a good thing. We need to teach this.
Social media is a great example of that.
And we have a team of experts in this world, in this country, in this state here, in this community. We have people that are educated, and let them do their job, create a vocabulary that's going to help people be more neighborly and get along better. Right. The other thing is we fail in finance. How to write a check, what's a mortgage calculator, how do banks work, how do credit cards work, how to live within your means.
You graduate from high school, go to college, and automatically, boom.
You can't just take a class in grade 11 on finance. It has to be done from kindergarten up. Somehow it has to be implemented constantly to learn how.
Balance a checkbook.
Everything, yeah. The earlier you learn, the earlier you can become a person that's going to be responsible. And then we need to learn law. Why is there a court? Why is there a jury? Why is there a Congress? All these things are the key to our being a better society. And this needs to be taught from kindergarten to adult, repeatedly. And then we need to also learn health.
Well, I work for the YMCA, Spencer Family YMCA. And I know that you work out at the Spencer Family YMCA. And you want to tie these products together with their mission statement and with something that's bigger than just superficial. Talk to us, Leo, about what you'd like to propose here today.
Well, that's the other thing. I presented this also to Pittsburgh Public School, that all children should learn to float. And this should
Say that into the camera so that this message gets across, because this is so very important.
Yes, so all children should learn to float. I mean, when you see on the news that a child has drowned, and you say, that child should have been taught to float, at least. I mean, swimming is good, but floating at least would give them the opportunity to survive. And so I believe that if I can promote the YMCA to promote a program for anybody to come in for free that has a child that we want to get them, comfortable in the water and have them float, and that could maybe save their lives. And I think it should be a law that all children should float. It should be, part of our curriculum in our schools to make sure that this happens. In our societies. So I'm willing to start it by anybody that makes a contribution of $100. I will give them a gift of a toothbrush or a golf clip. Unfortunately, I'm out of my books, but my book could be seen on Amazon.com if you go to books. The title is 2052, Chosen by the USA. So you can read it for 99 cents. And hopefully that we can make this a start in making us a better society.
The YMCA is a wonderful organization that has swim programs to everybody. not just for paying customers, but to those in need, children less advantaged. And I was told of a wonderful story about a little girl in Texas yesterday. I was told the story yesterday, this didn't happen yesterday, where several years ago she was out in a creek. They were rafting, her and her father, and it flipped over. And the little girl remembered what she learned at her swim lessons at the YMCA, and that was to float. And the current was pulling her under. The rapids were pulling her under. And she remembered one thing in her mode of panic, and it was float. Use the knowledge that I learned at the YMCA to float. And she survived. And now she's thriving, all because the little girl learned to float.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And that's an outstanding story. And these are things that we want to, get out there to
Good stories, stories.
to families, to protect their children.
It's
and this is
so
one way of doing
important.
it is
That's right.
teach them to float. And swimming is great,
Yes.
but there was a lady that fell off a ship a year ago or 2 years ago, and she was in the water for 10 hours. So she knew how to float, and because you can't swim for 10 hours.
Well, I can tell you the YMCA does offer swimming, floating, life-saving classes, and they're available for everybody. Teaching kids to swim and float is at the heart of the Y's mission in youth development and social responsibility. In years past, the Y has worked with SHIM and the Melting Pot Ministries to offer swim lessons to youth who may not be able to receive them otherwise. All donations from the sale of these products will go towards scholarships to get youth into the pool, where we would put a heavy emphasis on safety and learning to float. Leo, it's been a pleasure knowing you one-on-one, and it's even more of a pleasure having you here today to talk about everything that you believe in and sending positive messages forward. Leo, today, this is Leo and Amy Taylor, Healthy, Fit, and Strong, saying, you can help. You can help. Be well, be safe. Bethel Park signing off. Thank you for joining us here today.